Namaste. Namassundaranathaaya tasmai halasya vasine chatushashti vidhalila yenakari bhuvasthale Srimad Sundaranathasya devim shapharalochanam kalaye hridaye nityam kadamba vanavasini Putam swataf putataram tatoyad gangampayas Shankara Mauli Sangat tatpatu matuf pranayaparadha padahate putatamam tato maha. We are in the fourth Sarga of Shivaleelarnavam. This is the sixth session. We saw till Shloka 22. Airavata was cursed by Durvasa. Both Airavata and Indra were cursed by Durvasa. And Durvasa first said that they both, Airavata should become an elephant, an ordinary elephant in the Bhumi, and Indra would be killed by one of the Pandavamshiyaha, Kaschana Etam Hanti Iti. So all the devas who were all there, they were flustered and they were completely upset by this curse. So they immediately fell at the feet of Durvasa and prayed to him. And so he amended the curse a little bit and changed it, saying there is a Kala Avadhi for his Shapam, for Airavata's Shapa, in the sense until he reaches Nipavanam, wherein Sundaranatha is there, Sundaralingam is there, and once he does Archana to Parameshwara in that form and in Halasya Kshetram, he will be released from that curse and he can come back to Swarga. And for Indra, he changed it in such a manner that Makutalakshanam Saha Hanti iti. So Makutalakshanam Murdhni Patayet iti chet, tatra Murdhni Sakshat Saha, he will not hit, that is the Pandavamshiyaha Kaschana. We'll know later in the 14th Leela that it is Ugra Pandya who is an avatara of Kartikeya, and when he is born, when he faces Indra in a battle, Durvasa says that instead of hitting directly his head, he will hit his makutam, which is like a representative of his head, of Indra's head. So makuta lakshanam saha bhinatti. He changes the whole curse. Not exactly, he just adds a little bit of clause there and makes it so that it's not too bad. And now our Airavata has been born as an elephant in the area of Mahendra mountain. This is in the southern part, but he roams around all over the earth. And அதாவது கொட்டம் அடிக்கிறதுங்கிறது எனக்கு ரொம்ப பிடிச்சிருந்தது அது ஒருத்தர் சொன்னா. So it was very nice. In this description of how the elephant roamed around the earth and what all he did is completely absent in both Halasya Mahatmyam and in Thiruvilayadal Puranam. In Thiruvilayadal Puranam, it is just one Chayyul, one verse, which talks about how he just was living among all of the elephants in the forest where there were a lot of trees. He went from Mullai to another kind of Marudam and all that. There are different types of landscapes in the country, and he just traveled around the southern part. And then he entered, by chance, he entered into Nipavanam. There is just one Chayyul about the elephant. If you look at Halasya Mahatmyam, it is more upsetting than anything else, because he says for 100 years, Airavatam was just roaming around with a dark, Neela Vapuhu Saha, Dvidantaha, Tasya Chaturdantahu Dantahana Asanniti, Saha Chaturdanti na Asit, Kintu Dvidanti Asit. So he was very upset and he was roaming around in a very grieving manner, right? But this gives us that's what the poets, let's say the expertise or the creative ideas of a poet transforms a Puranam into a different way. Tiruvilayadal Puranam also has, in the Tamil also, there are different areas where he embellishes, whereas our poet embellishes in different areas. That's all. So how they ornament, how they bring in new facts and make it into a kavyam, that distinguishes a kavyam from a Puranam. So this is all the imagination of the poet. This doesn't take place anywhere in the Puranam or in the Tamil text that I have seen so far. There may be other, maybe in Telugu there is another one version of this which could have, or a Kannada version which could have many descriptions about what Airavata did. But here our poet decided to spend some few shlokas for this elephant. So saha simhan shundaya adaya chikshepa trinapuulavat padaireva mahagrahan bhekamardam mamardacha graha grasante haryakshaha gnanti grinhanti manavaha ityuchyamanam kalabaihi ascharyamev shrunot sarit saramsi pitani sakrid akrishya shundaya madadharapadeshena manyetasya prasusruvuhu. He was roaming around the bhumi, avano, sarvatra saha, gacchannasta, atannasta. And he chased away all of the elephants. He was the most strong among all of them. There are three enemies for an elephant. One is a simha, the other is a crocodile, and the other is Vyadha, hunter. All of these three did not pose any problem to our Airavata. Because he would just throw the lions with his trunk, he would crush crocodiles like small frogs. And when other elephants tried to warn him, graha, grasante, him simha, gnanti, ityadi, when they were talking about these dangers of the world, our Airavatam just looked like as if they're talking about something, some Greek and Latin or something like that. Ascharya saha ashrunot. He also drank all the waters and he entered into Yavana Avastha, wherein the mother Dhara comes out for an elephant from the sides of his temples or Gandasthale. Near his cheeks, you can see streaks of droplets that come out of his temple, which is called ikar in English. Sanskritu madadhara iti uchyate. Now moving further, saha mattaha sancharan prithivim charanair apachaskare laghu karishyan nivatam diggajanu jigrikshaya. Saha mattaha. Mattaha saha. Now we knew madadhara apadeshena, whatever water he drank, it came out through its temple. It seemed as if to the poet that it was a showing of his yavvanam. So mattaha saha. Mattaha itikta excited or intoxicated elephant. So madayuktaha saha gajaha. I think I told you about the tusker, which is usually a lone tusker, which is very madayuktaha bhavati, and a dangerous animal also, which we have to be very wary of. Right? So this is like, it's very similar to that elephant, but it's more out of its, the திமிரிண்டு நிக்கிறதும்போ. அதாவது என்ன பண்றதுன்னு தெரியாது. You have that hyperactivity inside you, that adrenaline rush, and you don't know what to do. That's what it was doing there. So mattaha saha prithivim sancharan, it kept roaming around the earth everywhere. Bhumim atan diggaja anujigrikshaya bhumim tam laghu karishyan iva charanaihi apachaskare. The idea here is, see, diggajaha eva bhumi bharam vahanti. The 8 elephants, which are the lords of each direction, quarters, are supposed to be carrying the weight of the earth. To symbolize that, you will find in Madurai temple also, and in many other temples also, the central Garbhagraham, the Vimanam which is above the central Garbhagraham, will be held by elephants. If you notice the sculpture that is there on the pillars that are placed in 8 directions, which is supposed to be holding up the Vimanam above the Garbhagraham of the Devata, those have the carvings of an elephant on them. And that is supposed to be the Dik Gaja, the elephants that are supposed to protect, the elephants that are protecting the 8 quarters, 8 directions that are there, north, south, east, west, northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest. So Diggajanam, so they are supposed to be holding the entire earth here as a symbol. Okay. Now, Airavata is one of those 8 elephants. He has come down now. So the entire earth has to be borne by only 7 elephants. Imagine. So this person is not there. It seems as if now he wants to do anugraham to those 7 elephants which are carrying this earth. And he wants to make it lighter for them. So that it's, they don't feel the bharam of this earth so much. So he is in the kura, what do they do? And the ullekhanam kurvanti, right? Alikhanti. So the elephants keep digging the earth and throwing up the dust everywhere. So it is like he is removing a portion of the earth in order to lessen the bharam of earth. So tam prithvi laghu karishyan iva. It is as if he is trying to make it nirbharam, without any bharam at all. So laghu karishyan iva. Why does he have to do that? Diggaja anujigrikshaya. He wants to do anugraham for the diggajas. And so it seems as if apachaskare kiranam kr dhatuhu atra apa upasargaha vartate kr iti vikshepe kirati. Adavadhu vikirati solrom illaya. So you're spreading everywhere iti. So apachaskare is the lit lakara for kirati dhatoho lit lakaraha tatra. So it means actually kirati ityukte, vikirati can mean spreading. Kirati is writing or in the காலால போட்டு நோண்டிண்டே இருக்கும் தெரியுமோ இல்லையோ சில இதெல்லாம். When you see horses, it will keep digging the earth and trying to push the earth out, right? So that is called apakiranam. Apakiranam is usually done when the animal is in either mattaha saha athava harshitaha. If he is very happy, then the animal would keep digging the earth to show off, because it has that energy in it, right? So the same way here also, saha mattaha saha, intoxicated, madayuktaha saha gajaha, charanaihi bhumim prithivim charan, he moved around the earth everywhere, and wherever he was, wherever he felt happy, he kept digging the earth and throwing up the mud. So charanaihi tam apachaskare. Why did he do that? Diggaja anujigrikshaya, anugrahana ichaya. So grahanasya icha jigriksha. So anugrahanasya icha. So anugrahitum icha yasya. So anujigriksha. So anujigrikshu would be the person who wants to do that. So atratu anugrahitum icha is anujigriksha, wanting to show his favor to the diggajas. What did he do? Laghu karishyan iva. As if he is going to make it into lesser. So laghu karishyan, he is as if he is going to karishyati ityukte lit, right? Kartum, laghu kartum iti. When you see that dirgha here, this is a chvi. We have seen many times wherever that chvi comes, it is actually abhuta tadbhavam, where yat purvam lagvi na asit, ya prithivi purvam lagvi na asit, alagvi gurvi asit, sa tu adhuna lagvi krita sampadyate. So this is a pratyaya that is added to make something which was not in such a manner. So bhumi, which was very heavy before, was being made lighter by the actions of the elephant. So laghu karishyan, in as if he was making it much lighter to show favor for the diggajas. Okay, he tore up the soil. Apachaskare. Here both are utpreksha here. There are two utprekshas. One is diggaja anujigrikshaya. Wishing to show favor. What is his hetu here to do this action? The favor, the showing favor to the diggajas is the hetu here, and that does not exist. But still, it is spoken of as if there is that ichha in this Airavata to do an anugraham, to show favor for these diggajas, and so he is doing this. Tarihi hetuhu asiddha vishaya hetuhu utprekshate atra. So it is an hetu utpreksha. If you look at this laghu karishyan iva, now this part is hetu utpreksha. This part is actually phala utpreksha. What is the phalam of his action? He is going to make it lighter. Can the earth be made lighter? Whatever you may send up, if you tear up the soil and throw it, still it is going to come and settle down on that earth, and there is not going to be any difference to the weight of the earth. But still, the poet is fancying here, and he is imagining, saying that it is as if it is lessening the weight of the earth. So that is because of his actions. The phalam here is going to be bhumihi laghu bhavishyati. So both of these utpreksha exists. So this becomes your main utpreksha. This becomes the anga utpreksha. So when two alankaras are said in the same shloka, then it can either exist separately without connecting with each other, or they can connect with each other in the sense that one can accentuate the other. If you see this phala utpreksha is your kriya. So since it is the kriya, that becomes the main. So it is the mukhya utpreksha, which is the angi utpreksha, and anujigrikshaya is your hetu, which helps this laghu karanam, and hence that becomes the anga alankara. When two of such alankaras join to supplement each other, then it is called sankaraha. There are some alankara shastrasya, it's a technical aspect there, artha alankaras. So saha mattaha sancharan prithivim charanair apachaskare laghu karishyan nivatam diggaja anujigrikshaya. Next one, ajaniva gajan anyan adaya chikshipe saeva pungajaha tatra vashaha tasya bhavan pare. Saha yavane vartate, yavane tu excuse me. Ajaniva gajan anyan adaya chikshipe saeva pungajaha tatra vashastasya bhavan pare. Saha Airavataha, so he, because he was in Yavvanam, he was a young elephant who wanted to play with other elephants also here. He cannot, yes, a lone tusker and all that is fine, but he was not by nature a very bad or a dangerous elephant here. He did not cause any trouble to most of them. It was just out of play that he did a lot of things. So he used to play with the other elephants also. But he took them also and threw them. Elephants naturally have a playful fighting activity that they do. This is there among all elephants, right? When they are young, you have two kids who are just 1 year or 2 years apart, then you'll know, and if both of them are boys, they will definitely playfully fight. You don't know when it will go from play to real fight. That is when the mother is always cautious and she stops them before it moves into the real fight, right? So atra anyan gajan, other elephants, adaya, this fellow took them and threw them, chikshipe, just like how he threw the lions, he threw other elephants also. Kathamiva anya ajaniva. Ajaniva, ajaha, like goats. Goat is a balahina prani. I am to balishtaha prani. So imagine he is looking at the other elephants as goats here, and he just took them and threw them as if they were very alpa prani. Ajaniva gajan anyan adaya chikshipe. Ajan gajan iti, there is a prasam there. So ajaniva gajan anyan gajan ajaniva adaya, as if they were goats, he picked them up, adaya, punaha. When you use lyap or ktva, you can use them for paunaf punyam. That is to indicate again and again. You can say adaya chikshipe, in the sense, then it is just, he did it once. Saha ekam gajam adaya tatra prakshipatiti. तत्र एकवारमेव अभवत् यदि तत्र पौनः पुण्यम् अपेक्षते then you can use it twice वीप्सायां. So there is a sutram also which says abhikshanye namulcha. So you use ktva, you use lyap or namul to indicate that there is a repetition of that action. So here you repeat it twice. So adaya, repeatedly he grabbed other elephants and flung them out like goats. So saeva pungajaha tatra tasmin vane atava mahendra shailastha vane, mahendra shaile, or tatra can also mean gajanam madhye. Saeva pungajaha vashaha tasya pare abhavan. Pare anye gajaha tasya gajasya vashaha abhavan. Now there are two words here. One is an adjective to saha, which is the elephant, which is pungajaha. The other word is vashaha as an adjective to pare. Paraha parau pare iti. Anya gajanam visheshanataya tatra vashaha iti padam upayuktam. If you look at the word vasha, there are two meanings for it. One is vashaha, vashau, vashaha. You can take it as vashaha, vashau, vashaha in the sense of they were tasya vashaha abhavan. All of the other elephants became elephants under his control. Airavata could quickly bring all of the other elephants under his control. So pare vashaha, tad vashaha, tasya vashaha abhavan. Tasya sahatu tana swayatti kritavan iti. There is another meaning for vasha. In Amarakosham it says vasha, karini dhenuka vasha iti. So vasha, vashe, vashaha. You can, if you take it as strilinga padam, pare yadyapi pare gajaha pumamsaha asan tathapi te karinyaha iva asan vashaha. So they were under his control, or they became his karini. They were like his women to bring them under his control. That is they were like female elephants without that balam. Actually, in animal kingdom, in most cases, it is the female which is more powerful. It's just a way of expression where he says they were not male enough for this elephant, so they were like karini, vashaha. They were like females. Saeva pungajaha. Only this elephant was puman gajaha, pungajaha. This is the only elephant that was a male there, and the rest were all like females. That is just a slesha. But what we need is tasya vashaha. They all became elephants under his control. So they would listen to whatever this Airavata said. So yataha eshaha eva pungajaha iti. The word pungajaha is also a very peculiar usage that Nilakanta Dikshita uses. We have noticed, you would have seen narapungavaha iti, right? Pungavaha means rishabhaha, purusha rishabhaha, purusha pungavaha iti. Pungavaha iti chet, the meaning is actually sreshthaha iti. Sreshtha vachitvena tatra puman gauhu ityeva. The actual literal vyutpatti, if you take it, it is only puman gauhu. I'm talking about pungavaha here, not pungajaha. So puman gauhu is pungavaha, and that indicates a rishabha. So a man who is as powerful as a bullock or an ox. So usually in the cow, the ox is much more strong, and so it is used to plow the fields and everything, right? So, Sreshta Vachitvena, Tatra Upayukte. So, when you say Narapungavaha, Nareshu Pungavaha, so he is like the man among men. So, the men. So, he is the Sreshta among all of the people that are there, all of the men who are there. We talk about kings like that, or even Krishna in Bhagavatam is talked about as Pungavaha. So, in the same manner, he uses the idea to remind us of that Pungava word and uses it as Pungajaha, Puman Gajaha, Pungajaha. The only Balishtaha Gajaha iti athava Sreshtaha Gajaha Sayeva Arthat Sayeva Puman Anyetu Strivat Acharanti. It's a idea here that Nilakanta Dikshita portrays. So, Ajaniva Gajan Anyan Adayadaya Chikshipe Sayeva Pungajaha Tatra Vashastasya Bhavan Pare. The next one, Saha Kelan Sagarasyam Vaha Kshipan Mandakinim Prati Dayaya Chiravislishtau Dampati Tau Ayojayat. Now he plays with the waters of the ocean. Sahatu bhumim charati iti uktam. Natu kevalam dakshina bharate vartate. Satu sampurnam bhumim atanna gachati saha. So saha kelan, as he was playing, he takes on the waters of the ocean and throws it into Mandakini. So imagine the oceans are probably, you have 3 different oceans, or any other 7 different oceans. If you take off the formation that was there during Krita Yugam, there are 7 islands and 7 different oceans that are there. So he takes the waters of the Sagara and throws it into Mandakini. Mandakini is Ganga. But funnily, Ganga actually is called Mandakini only when she is in the Akasha Ganga. Bhumautu Bhagirathi, Akashe Mandakini, Patale, there is another name, Bhogavati iti. So she has 3 different names, and Mandakini is a name given to Akasha Ganga. So he takes the waters of the ocean and throws it into Mandakini. So Sagarasya Ambaha Mandakinim Prati Kshipan, Akasha Gangam Prati Kshipan, as he was throwing the water towards the Akasha Ganga, Dayaya Chira Vislishtau Dampati Tau Dampati Dayaya Ayojayat. It seems like as if Sagara and Ganga have long been separated. Chira Vislishto, Chira Virahito, Chirate Virahito. They have been separated for a long time, and it seems as if he united the couple here. Dampati Tau Ayojayat. In Kavi Samayam, we say that Sagara is the Patihi, and Ganga, any Nadi which flows into the Sagaram, is Patni. So, Sagarastu Nadi Patihi ityapi tasya nama vartate. So, we take it as the descriptions of a Nadi and Sagara lends to a beautiful Naika Nayaka Bhava, and Kavis have used this in many places. Here also, he says, Tau Dampati Jayacha Patihicha Dampati. It's a very special formation here. So, Tau Dampati Ayojayat. He joined both of them who have been separated for a long time. Mandakini is an Akasha Ganga, and Sagaraha tu Bhumau Vartate. So, both of them have been separated for a long time. Let me join them. Iti Sagaram Tatra Mandakinyam Prakshipate. So, he took these waters of the ocean and threw it into the Mandakini, into Ganga. Another idea which could arise from this also, I took this idea from Apay Dikshitar, who has given a very similar explanation to Yamuna, who went back into the, as Vasudeva was carrying Krishna and walking, the backside of Yamuna was like a huge wall, like receding, and the front portion of hers was Sthalapraya, because she had to give way for Vasudeva to carry Krishna and go to Gokulam. So Yamuna had reversed her flow, and Apay Dikshita comments there, and he says it's as if Yamuna was very unhappy with the ocean. because he was spending time only with Ganga. And so she decided to go back to her Poranda, her birthplace, to the Parvatam itself, where she was born from. And she did not want to go to her Patigraham because she was upset that the Sagara, ocean, was showing more interest towards Ganga, it seems. So he uses that beautifully. So I thought here also it's something very similar, to think that it is always Mandakini who goes to the Sagaram Pratyeva Gacchati. Sagaraha has never seen the birthplace of Mandakini. So it seems as if this elephant wants Sagara to go and see the birthplace of Ganga. And so he is throwing the Ganga's waters. Maybe, this is all the dhvani that comes out of how you look at a shloka and how you can imagine the dhvani there. It's his thought that gave me this idea. Probably the elephant was also trying to do that. Saha khelan, saha gajaha khelan kridan, as he was playing. While playing, sagarasya ambaha kshipan, as he was throwing the ocean water, mandakinim prati, towards Mandakini, towards Akasha Ganga, tau ayojayat, he united the Chira Vislishtau Tau Dampati. He united the long separated couple out of compassion. Dayaya. How long will they be separated? Let them also join together. Iti Tau Ayojayat. Here it is an Utpreksha. So actually he joining them is the Utpreksha here, and they have been Vislishta. So you can also take it as they're constantly connected in the Sagarasya ambasitu sada slishto. They're constantly together. Whereas in Mandakini, it is pure Ganga water, and the Sagaram is not there. The ocean water is not at all united with Ganga in the river, actually. So it was as if he was trying to connect them, trying to join this water there inside Ganga Ambaha. It can give rise to different meanings depending on your pratibha. Saha khelan sagarasyambaha kshipan mandakinim prati dayaya chiravislishtau tau dampati chiravislishtau dampati tau ayojayat. The next one is Pashyan madhyama lokasya ramaniyakam adbhutam pamsubihi sakarodhutaihi Chakara iva divam bhuvam. He saw the beauty of this bhumi. All this while, Airavata, before this avataram, he was in Swargam. He is roamed around, yes, but it is like visiting a city and coming back. Only if you stay in a city for a long time. He's stayed here for 100 years as a normal elephant, going through the 100 years stages. Not like a Devasya, Devaha Yada, if he stays here for 100 years, then it is only 100 days for him. Right? But Airavata stayed here as a normal Samanya Gaja for 100 years, and he saw the beauty of this Madhyamalokam, which is Bhumi. Madhyama lokasya ramaniyakam, adbhutam ramaniyakam pashyan. Looking at the surprising beauty, beautiful earth, this is iti saha anubhavanna asit. As he was roaming around, he was not simply going there, kshetratanam na karoti sma. Like Indra in the earlier Leela, right? In the last previous Sarga, Indra was going around the earth to every place for Tirthatanam. He wanted to get rid of his Shapam, and so he went to every place. Whereas Airavatam had taken an avatara here, he was behaving like a Samanya Gajaha, and he was roaming around the earth. So he got a chance to experience it as a native. We say, right, when you are staying in another country for just you're visiting for a week, then you don't understand the beauty of that particular country. You stay there as a native does, then you will understand the beauty of that country. Right? So that's how this Airavata felt when he was staying in Bhumi. So Madhyama Lokasya, Madhyama Lokaha tu Urdhvalokam, Adholoka, and then Madhyama Loka. So Urdhva Lokam too, you can take it as Swarga, etc., etc. And then Adho Loka would be all the Patala Lokam. So the middle Lokam would be the earth. Pashyan Madhyamalokasya Adbhutam Ramaniyakam Ramaniya Bhavaha Ramaniyakam Pashyan, seeing it. Now he wanted to make Swargam as Bhumi, Divam Swargam Akarot, or you can take it as Bhuvam Divam Akarot. He also made this Bhumi as Swargam. Both this, in a way, it is possible. The way he has constructed this shloka is such that both Divam and Bhuvam are in Dvitiya Vibhakti. When you have to do Uddeshi Videya Bhavam, if you take it as it is in the shloka, then you would take it as Divam Bhuvam Akarot. Chakara Iva Divam Bhuvam. Divam Bhuvam Akarot Iva. It was as if he took all of this earth, Kara Uddhuta Pamsu Bihi, Pamsu Dhuli Bihi, with the dust that came from, that were thrown, Uddhutam, that were thrown with its Kara Shunda, its trunk. So with the dust that was thrown by its trunk, it seems as if it made the sky Divam as Bhuvam. It made the sky as earth, because it threw the dust completely on the Akasham, and it made the Akasha as Bhumi. Or it made Bhumi as Akasham. It removed so much of the soil out of the earth that it seems as if the entire earth was moved to the Bhumi, and the earth seemed like Akasham. There was nothing in it. This is also an exaggeration here, right? Chakara Iva. Bhuvam Chakara Iva. It's as if he made it into, you can take it the earth as a sky or the sky as earth. If the contents of this thing moved, if I have a room, I have an office room here, and if I move all of the contents of my office room to another room, this will cease to be an office room. This will just be a spare room, and that room will become an office room. That's what he did here. So Divam Bhuvam Akarote, Athava Bhuvam Divam Akarote. Ubhavapi Tatra, both are possible. So Pashyan Madhyamalokasya Ramaniyakam Adbhutam Pamsubihi Saha Kara Uddhutaihi Karena Uddhutaihi. So Kara Uddhutaihi Pamsubihi Chakareva Divam Bhuvam. Simple shlokas. The next few shlokas are, so Vidravadbihi Vane Tasmin Vyadha Vyagra Mrigadhipaihi Mriganam Rakshanad Asit Mrigendraha Saha Adbhutaha Kshitau. Vidravadbihi Vane Tasmin Vane Vidravadbihi Vyadha Vyagra Mrigadhipaihi Mriganam Rakshanat Saha Kshitau Adbhutaha Mrigendraha Asit. So Mrigendraha iti kasya nama bhavati? Mriganam yaha indraha nripaha adhipatihi bhavati saeva Mrigendraha ityuchyate. Tari vanasya Mriganam ishaha kaha simhaha ityeva sarvatra we have read, correct, that it is only the simha which is the Mrigendra. It's not about protection at all. The lion protects the forest. Because of the existence of the lion, other people who will not enter into that forest. That's all. He is the Mrigendra because he kills. Chandrama Mrigalanchanaha iti. There is a shloka in Shishupala Vadha. Alright. 1 minute, let me pull up that shloka. Anke Ankadhiropita Mrigaha Chandrama Mrigalanchanaha iti. The first line is Kesari Nishturakshipta Mrigayutho Mrigadhipaha. Kesari, a lion, Nishturakshipta Mrigayuthaha. He just Nishtura, in a very cruel manner, Kshipta, he kills all of the Mriga Yutha, herds and herds of animals. The lion is no protection for the animals. The lion kills all of the animals, but what is he called? Mriga Adhipaha iti tasya uchyate. He is called as the king of all the animals, whereas Chandramaha, moon is called Mriga Lanchanaha. He has the stain of an animal, of a deer, because he has given protection for an animal. Anka adhiropita mrigaha chandrama mrigalanchanaha. Anka adhiropitaha. Anke yatha mata shishum tatra anke sthapayati lalayati cha tatha chandramaha mrigam lalayati. See, the kalankam that is there on the moon seems like a deer, and it is as if the moon has placed the deer on his own lap to protect. But what is he called? He is called as a person who is stained by the mriga, not as a mriga adhipaha. Whereas a lion which kills all the elephants, kills all the animals, is called mriga adhipaha. This is an example that I think Balrama gives to Krishna when he says, you cannot adopt a very conciliatory move, there is a peaceful approach to Shishupala. You have to go and kill him immediately. If you approach peacefully, then you will be like this moon, which is called that it has got a stain of that mrigam. Whereas if you kill, then you will be like the lion, which is called mriga adhipa. So Balrama advises in this manner to Krishna. So mriga adhipaha yaha sarvanapi mrigana hanti natu rakshati iti. So that is the actual meaning of a mrigadhipa. But what happens to our elephant? He is an adbhuta mrigadhipaha, mrigendra. He is a vilakshanaha, ascharya-bhutaha. He is a very astonishing king of animals, in such that he protects all of the other elephants from these dangerous animals. Vidravadbihi running. The dhavadbihi vyadha vyagra mrigadhipaihi mriganam rakshanat. So because he protects the animals, mriganam rakshanat, because of the protection of all the elephants by the vyadha vyagra mrigadipaihi mriganam rakshanat. The tritiya is a little off here. It should be panchami. Probably there is panchami cha. I'll need to check karaka prakanam there. I am not sure about that. I'll check and let you know later. So vyadha vyagra mrigadipaihi vyadhaha kirataha, hunters from running hunters. So you join this vidravadbihi, dhavadbihi with each of these here. Okay. So vidravadbihi vyadhaihi, vidravadbihi vyagraihi, vidravadbihi mrigadipaihi. So by protecting the animals, mriganam rakshanat, by protecting the animals from the running hunters, tigers and lions, mrigadhipaihi, he uses the word mrigadhipa here for lion. This saha kshitau bhumau, in this on this earth, he has become a very astonishing or a very ascharya-bhutaha, vilakshanaha, a different kind of king of animals. So vanat, there is another reading, vanat tasmat iti, vidravadbhir vanat tasmat. That makes more sense, I think. Okay. I'll check that out. I'll need to think more on this shloka. So vidravadbihi vanetasmin vyadha vyagra mrigadhipaihi mriganam rakshanadasit mrigendraha saha adbhutaha kshitau. Mahendra desha malayam malayadapi dardaram sancharan jatuchit prapa kunjaro nipakananam. This is our final thing here. So kunjaraha saha gajaha. He has actually used a lot of words for elephant also here. Kunjaraha, hasti, gajaha, dvipaha, ityadi. So kari. I think he has also used kari. I'll need to check that. So I am kunjaraha, this elephant, eshaha kunjaraha, Mahendrat Malayam, Malayadapi Dardaram, Sancharan, Jatuchit, Kadachit, once he entered Nipakananam Prapa. He reached Nipakananam, Nipavanam, our Kadambavanam, which is the Halasya Kshetram, where Sundaralingam has been was found by Indra, and Indra had built the temple. In the first Leela, we saw how Indra's Vritrahatya was gone, and he had built that temple. So Nipakananam, Eshaha Kunjaraha Prapa. This elephant came Atra. There is no Eshaha. Here. Mahendrad Eshaha ityasti. Yes. So Eshaha Kunjaraha Nipakananam Jatuchit Prapa. Once he reached Nipavanam, from where Mahendrat Malayam, Malayat Dardaram Sancharan, as he was moving from Malaya mountain, Mahendra mountain to Malaya mountain, and then from Malaya mountain to Dardara. Dardara is it can either be a Samipastha mountain, it could be a mountain which is very close to this Nipavanam, or it is just another Parvatam, because in a Kosha it is given Dardaraha Parvate Pumsi. When we use Dardara word in Pullinga, then it is called Parvatam, so it is a synonym for Parvatam. So it can be any mountain which was close to Nipavanam. It can, or it could be a name of a mountain which is today lost. As we are looking at it, it is some probably something that happened in a long time back. There is a mention of Dardura as a mountain in Ayodhya Kandam, where he says Malayam Darduram Chaiva iti. In Ramayanam, there is a mention of Dardura. Probably Dardura and Dardara are the same mountain. Since it has been mentioned in Ramayana also, this could be another name of a particular mountain which we don't have today, probably. So Mahendrat Malayam. Mahendra mountain would be the mountain from where Hanuman crossed the ocean. Right? So that is the Mahendra Parvatam, from where he crossed the ocean. That is why Samudram Ambaha Mandakinim Prati Saha Chikshepa Ityuktam. So it is closest to the Samudram, and where Hanuman stepped onto that Mahendra mountain and crossed the ocean to Lanka. So Mahendrat, from there he moved up north to the Malaya mountain. And Malayat api Darduram, probably moving more towards the east, which is towards Madurai. So Mahendrat Eshaha Malayam, Malayadapi Dardaram Sancharan Jatuchit Prapa Kunjaraha Nipakananam. He reached Nipavanam. And after reaching there, what he did, we will look at in the next session. So any questions, you can raise your hand. And yes, Namaste Mohdaya.
Yes, ma'am. இவர் யானையோட ஸ்வபாவத்தை வச்சு ரொம்ப அருமையா கற்பனை பண்ணியிருக்காரு. கலபஸ்திதியில குழந்தையா இருந்தப்போ சிங்கத்தையும் இது முதல்லையும் மிதிச்சதாகவும், யவன அவஸ்தாக்கு வரும்போது யானையவே தூக்கி எறிஞ்சதாகவும் ரொம்ப நல்லா கம்பேர் பண்ணியிருக்காரு. அதே மாதிரி யானை தண்ணிய உறிஞ்சி திரும்ப ப்ளோ பண்ணி விளையாடும். அது மாதிரி கடல் தண்ணிய உறிஞ்சு அது ப்ளோ பண்றது ஸ்வர்க்கத்துக்கே போய் கங்கையோட கலக்கிற மாதிரி கற்பனை பண்ணிருக்காங்க.
Mahendra Malayingardu, someone has just mentioned that Parashurama probably went to Mahendra mountain after meeting Rama. Possible. I need to reference check பண்ணனும். You can check that. Sorry. Any other questions? Cholungo. Yeah. Namaste. Lata?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that today being the Panguni Uttaram, it came so coincidence with you say Dampati Tau. Yeah, Dampati Tau Ayojayat,
Mama Panguni Uttaram idla Trikalyanamla. I think Kavaligo illa Trikalyanam nadakkum. Yeah. Hey, namaste.
Namaste. Yeah. When you speak in Tamil, can you repeat it again in English? Because we don't
I'll try.
understand that.
No, definitely I'll try. Yeah. I do.
like your lectures very much, but sometimes we get lost because we don't understand that Tamil language.
I know. No, but I try as much as possible to stick to Sanskritam and English. But some expressions are so native that I am so used to teaching in Tamil for ages. So this is a
Yeah.
new thing for me over the past few years.
Yeah,
So I still
I
slip into
understand.
Tamil.
Yeah, I understand. You look so beautiful and happy when you speak in Tamil. But what happens is we can't understand.
I know. I try. Yeah. I'll try. I'll remember.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Dhanyawada.
Namaste.
Yeah, Kapali Kovali got in the actual YouTube live.
Batela.
We got Murugan Tirkalyanam the afternoon.
Now it is Swami Ambal Tirkalyanam.
If chat is kept open, then we can exchange answers. We can
it is.
Those who
There is a
speak
question and answer.
Chat is not available during the. Let's see.
No, it is. But I think there is a question answer which can only be answered by
QA.
Q&A. Yeah, the chat is not open. I don't know. Yeah, I thought.
Yeah, it got opened after you unlocked the audio. I think it is now open. Anyway.
Oh.
I thought. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Any other questions? You can raise your hands. Okay. I think that's it for today. नमः सुन्दरनाथाय तस्मै हालास्य वासिने चतुष्षष्टि विधालीला येनाकारि भुवस्तले श्रीमत् सुन्दरनाथस्य देवीं चतुरलोचनं कलये हृदये नित्यं कदम्ब वनवासिनी. We'll meet next week. Thank you. Namaste.